Good evening, and welcome to the second episode of Grind Time, where I am turning my to do list into my did list as a new entrepreneur in the cannabis space. So, if this is your first time here, I'm so glad that you're joining us. And if you called the first one, welcome back. Um, so every night, Monday through Friday, you won't catch me on the weekends. I'll be going through my did list. It is my way of coming to the end of the night and acknowledging the things that I did, acknowledging the things that I didn't do as well, but finding gratitude and some peace and solace in knowing that I pushed the needle forward. And so it has just become a ritual of mine. It was more urgent in the beginning, like I needed it to calm my anxiety and my anxiousness of getting everything done. And I really, right before I would go to bed, I'd have to like read down the list of this, you did this, and that, and tell myself, although it feels like the needle didn't move, I didn't make any money today, I know that I continue to push forward. My goal right now is to consistently bring in $250 a day in profit that will maintain my lifestyle. And then my goal right after that is $100 a day. So I'm just trying to reach $100 a day in profit. And these are the steps that I'm taking. So I hope that you learned something. I hope that you find a place to give me feedback. You got some plays that I should be running, anything to move my journey along. And I hope that in sharing, I will be helping you move your journey along. So I'm just going to jump right into it because it's late. I'm recording this one at about 11 p.m. I went outside today, so this is like my outside uniform. But most of the time, I'm in my pajamas. So if you caught yesterday's, it was after my bath, and so I was completely in my pajamas. I haven't decided how I feel about that yet. I maybe just let y'all see too much. I don't know. I haven't decided, but I do know that maintaining close until 11 p.m. is also not an option. We're going to work through the kinks. This is only episode 2. Maybe I'll get a nice weed is not a crime house robe, house jacket. I don't know. But I did this for y'all. So I'm just going to jump in the list because I really want to keep these to less than 10 to 15 minutes. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Please subscribe. I'm learning a lot about podcasting, and I need you to subscribe. Like, I just need you to subscribe. That's it. It's very simple. Just press the subscribe button. Um, that's how you grow a podcast. So please help me do that. And yeah, I'm going to jump into my did list. My to-do list is super crazy. I need to organize it. I don't even know how many items are on it, but I know that the new year is coming and I want to jump into the new year fully ready and committed to going forward. So I am working down the list of things to give me a strong January. So, what did I do today? It's Friday, so I started my day off with my Social Proof Free Game Friday. If you're not following Social Proof, I listen on YouTube. I'm sure they're on all the other platforms, but it's free game every Friday live for 3 hours. So from 9 to 12, I'm on the West Coast. So from 9 to 12, I tune in live, and it's just entrepreneurs just sharing, just all kinds of stuff. And so I laid in bed till about 10 and listened to that. And then I had to get up and start moving, but I didn't miss any of it. I actually pulled out some notes that I wanted to share. And one of the plays that they gave today, sorry, I can't remember his name, but he, in growing his brand, he joins Facebook groups. I'm new to Facebook groups, but this is on my list of things to do. He joins Facebook groups and he even has purchased some Facebook group, like these large groups that have already been collected. And he says he just goes into the chat and leaves value and drops knowledge and he generates an audience that way. But what was a gem for me is he was like, I've bought these groups for cheap, 20,000 people in one group that I now control that audience and I can get my product in front of them and I can, I have their ear at that point. So something to think about. I'm putting it on my list of things to think about. Yeah, I think that's what I pulled out of that. I listened to a couple podcasts today, so maybe I'll tell you something that I got out of all of them. But so that was first my free game Friday. Then I had to leave the house at about 12. So I've been dressed since 12. That's not like me. Very uncomfortable. But I had to leave the house around 12 to go to the storage. I had an order to fulfill. So I had to go to the storage and get a Wee Lady sweatsuit. I had to go drop off some flour. And I had to take my sister to the police department to get a report for her accident. So those were my errands that I ran. And then I ran back home. After that, but during that time, I listened to another podcast on Social Proof. I don't remember this guy's name, but he sold an Instagram account for $110,000. And then a young Canadian guy sold an Instagram account for $85 million. And I realized that the reason money has been hard to make is because we are still trying to make it the hard way. People are out here making $85 million off of growing one Instagram account, off of repurposed content. So I'm going to try to drop the links to the podcast that I listen to so that you can reference them, because it's too much game for me to regurgitate, but it's there. So I listened to that, and then I think I listened to one more thing today. Oh, I listened. So that was 3 social proof in one day. I tried to switch it up. And then I listened to another social proof podcast today with Donnie and David. They were brainstorming $1 million idea. They are um, fundraising, so to say, for a podcast studio building. They need $1 million. And during this podcast, they brainstormed and came up with the idea and delegated duties to each other on how to create a product that would generate $1 million to pay for the building. I thought that was dope. So that was my 3 podcasts for today. And I did that while I was out, and one when I came home. What else did I do? I edited last night's first Grind Time episode. So I had to edit it. I used video AI to cut it. Since this was my first podcast episode ever, I was going to launch it on Anchor because I had been doing all of this research on podcast distribution. And when I finally got to Anchor, I realized that months ago, Anchor was actually bought out by Spotify. So now it's Podcasters for Spotify. But what is really cool is that I can film this right here. I edited on Video AI, but I'm pretty sure you can edit it in the Spotify for Podcasters app. It wasn't that user friendly. And the video that I was watching, I didn't like the lady's voice. So I have to try again tomorrow. But they distribute it to all of the podcasting platforms, and Spotify now has a video element to podcasting. So if people want to see your face, or if you want to add video to it, you can. And I think that's pretty dope because I watch all my podcasts with video. So this is distributed through uh, Spotify podcasting for Spotify. I think that's how they call it, and also on YouTube. So I had to get that set up. I had to register the account, upload the video, put the title, description. I had to create the artwork because I didn't have that. So I went on Canva real quick and created the artwork that you see. I did that today. And I put the first episode up there, and I was like, I'm in my pajamas. I look crazy, but I needed to know that I knew how to do it so that while I'm doing these every night, I'm no longer confused. I actually might just go ahead and upload this one tonight since tomorrow is Saturday, because it was really that easy. It was really that easy. So I edited this yesterday's podcast, created the artwork, and uploaded it onto YouTube and to the Spotify for podcasts. I also created channel on YouTube separate from my other content, and I also created a channel for my Can I Kick It. So I did some moving around of my YouTube channel. What else did I do? Then I added an automated email to my new subscribers. So now when folks subscribe to my email list, they'll get that automatic welcome. I didn't have that before. You know how you go subscribe and then you automatically get that follow-up email to increase engagement. I didn't have that before. So I created the automated email for people once they subscribe with a discount code. And then I also linked my MailChimp to my Spotify store, which made posting products in the newsletter so much easier. I really don't know why that wasn't integrated before. But once I figured that out, that was a game changer today. And because I was in MailChimp, but before, okay, I did that. And I was listening to, I forgot what podcast I was listening to, but it was more about mental health and wellness and working in compassion. But I realized that my anxiety was kind of like getting a little jittery, and needed to take a break from the voices on the podcasting, because I'm like an information overload. So I stopped and I put my Jesus music on. And so it gave me time for some praise and worship, but it was also me being in this space of working so often that I'm finally being able to pick out what works for me, what my body needs, what it feels like when I'm overwhelmed, and how to manage it. Um, I normally, in order to manage any of this, I take a puff and I drink some coffee. But every once in a while, it still becomes too much. And so I put on my Jesus music. Me and my daughter had a praise break. We sang and danced through a song, and then I got back to work. And then I did my newsletters, my January newsletters through my MailChimp. So I have some new clarity on how I will execute my newsletters that will take the thinking out of it. And so now it can be sort of automated. I've built out the templates for all four. I will be doing every month a product email, an event email, cannabis entrepreneurial newsletter, and then a cannabis justice reform newsletter. And so I built a template for each of those, and then I scheduled a newsletter to go out for every Thursday in January. So I don't have to think about January's newsletters anymore. I have an email list of about 1,000 people, and up until today, I'm sort of like using that ad hoc. I reposted a meme the other day that was like, this year you need to make some noise. Like, there's enough learning, you've built a foundation, now you need to make a noise. And so those people, I'll be getting noisy in your emails. So I did that. What else? So all four product emails went out. And I'd like to say that's it. Like, I just got to the end of the list and I went to say, oh, that's all I did today. But when you read it, and this is how I got into this habit, when I started reading it, like, I listened to Social Proof podcast. Oh, I charged the car. I delivered some flour. I picked up merch from the stores. I took Tiffany to the police station. I edited my first Grind Time podcast. I posted it on YouTube. I updated my my Spotify profile. The podcast got posted to Spotify, so please subscribe. I added an automated email. I listened to some Jesus music. I integrated my MailChimp, and I drafted, created, and scheduled 4 newsletters to go out. That's a lot. I did something, and I can sleep better knowing that I did that. And so, yeah, I'm turning my to-do list into my did list. My did list feels so much better. Um, yeah, so I hope that you learned something. I hope that at the end of these podcasts, you stop and think about what you did today. Like, even the mundane tasks. I didn't cook dinner today. Poor baby ate a noodle, but I went outside and I felt like it set me back. But nonetheless, I hope that at the end of every one of these, Monday through Friday, you look at your day, you examine your day, and you remind yourself of what you did. And you don't worry about what you didn't do, because there's always tomorrow. So sleep tight. I think I'm somewhere after 11. I'm about to run my bath, take a puff, and I'm gonna go to bed. And this feels like I'm going to bed early. But please subscribe, stay tuned. We're going from prison to profit. Today, I brought in $810. I had a unexpected sponsorship come through. And then I had some flower moves. So it was $810 day. That has not averaged out for my 250 a day, but an $800 day still felt pretty good. Blessings to you. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll catch you on Monday.